汇集天下大事，聚焦华人热点。西雅图中文电台网络电视。
Joseph 你好。
你好。
很高兴再见到你呢。我们知道你在这个公民研习会上面做义工，然后你在这里主要做什么工作呢？
今天我在这里当志愿者。今天我的角色就是保护这里的移民，因为有人怕他们会是被抓，是被那个 ICE 抓，所以我们是会
如果他们被抓的话，你们能够提供什么样的帮助呢？
我们可以告诉这里的移民律师，所以他们可以来解决这样的问题。
太好了。行，那谢谢你接受我们的采访。
好，
谢谢你接受我们的采访。
好。
很高兴见到您在这边，就是西雅图市政府举办的公民研修会上面，您在做义工，在帮助大家。那么，您能不能跟我们的观众朋友们介绍一下自己？
您好，大家好，我叫陈香平，我是从Asian Counseling and Rural Service 来的。我在这里呢，主要一个任务是这个 station 是叫做 farm station， 就是帮助大家填表的。那么我在这里主要是帮助大家解决有些法律上有些问题，或填表上有些技术上的问题。因为我呢在这个 citizenship 这个地方，这个领域里面也做了有10多年了，所以呢，我现在这是我给我的这么一个今天在这里做的这个扮演的这个角色吧。
那您每一次参加这样的公民研习会，能帮助到很多人吗？
确实能帮助到很多人，因为呢，很多人呢，其实就觉得填表入籍也是一件很大的事情，可以说在这个人生过程当中也算是一件大事。那么很多人呢，因为又涉及到很多法律上的问题，所以他们也需要一些这方面比较懂的人士呢来帮助他们。所以呢，不仅仅是从中国来的，也有很多其他外国来的。大家也知道，像美国是一个移民社会，所以我们每次来的时候也帮助来自各国的移民来完成他们这个成为美国公民的这个心愿吧。American dream come true。
太好了，谢谢你。
that's all.
We are glad to have Joaquin. He is the Director of Outreach Communication of Department of Immigration and Refugee of City of Seattle. Hi, Joaquin.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Can you tell us about the citizenship workshop this year, the overall picture?
Sure. So this is the City of Seattle's second annual Seattle United for Immigrants and Refugees mega workshop. And the reason why it's a mega workshop is because we have a goal of serving over 1,000 immigrants who need legal assistance, as well as immigrants who need help filling out their N400 citizenship forms. And we also have smaller clinics. We call them citizenship clinics, and the goal of those is to serve anywhere from 30 to 50 people, and we plan on having those starting in April 2018. And so our overall strategy is to have small clinics where people can come and get help, and those tend to be based all over Seattle. And then we have these larger mega workshops where it's a big event that people can come and media is interested, and we are able to process as many people as possible to get their citizenship application filled out or to get legal help.
Nice. So how many volunteers and how many attendees for the event of this year?
So this year we have over 800 volunteers.
Wow.
Of those volunteers, we have 300 attorneys. Some of those attorneys are immigration attorneys, some of them are not, but they're all here volunteering their time to help make sure that families are able to stay together and that people who have green cards and who are eligible are able to apply for citizenship. Often people find that the citizenship process can be very confusing, and it's a 20-page application process front and back. So there's a lot of information that you need to track and to remember. And so we have folks that are going through the form, question by question, line by line, so that people can quickly and easily fill it out and then ideally mail it and get on the path to U.S. citizenship.
I have a question. Do you help people outside the limit of city of Seattle?
Yes, this event is open to anyone who needs assistance. And so it doesn't matter where you live, as long as you need to access services, you can actually enter the mega workshop. We know that there's a lot of people who work in the city of Seattle, but who live outside the city, as well as people who spend a great deal of time in the city and contribute to the city's economy, but may not live here. And so we recognize that there are a lot of people who fit that description, and so we want to make this event open to them as well.
As we know, this year might be a little bit special just because DACA issue, IC issues, and how do you help out those people involved?
That's a great question. Actually, one of the big reasons why we have events like this is because people in community are worried. They're scared. They see what's happening at the federal level. Not only the anti-immigrant and anti-refugee rhetoric that comes from the federal government, but also the anti-immigrant and anti-refugee policies that are either being proposed or that have already happened. And because people are scared and because they're worried, we asked folks in the community, what is it you need? What is it you want the city to, offer to help this situation? And loud and clear, people have said they would love to have access to legal assistance, legal help, legal consultations. And so we've stepped up with events like this, with smaller clinics as well, so that people can access these services, talk with a lawyer, find out their options for free, because it turns out for a lot of people, hiring an immigration attorney could be anywhere from $300 to $500, even more. And so for folks who have low incomes, this is a great opportunity for them to access the care and the help that they need.
Great. Thank you for interviewing with us.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being a volunteer for the workshop. Can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Yes, my name is Jamie Clausen and I'm an attorney, and this is the second time I've come to a City of Seattle immigration workshop to volunteer.
So, is it a busy day for you so far?
Not a lot of clients, but every client takes a long time because the process is so complex.
So, they rely on your professional experience?
Well, every person who's coming here actually passes through 3 attorneys. So there's a first attorney who screens them and makes sure they're eligible.
Yeah.
And then what I'm doing is helping them fill out the very long paperwork and identifying any issues that might be a problem. And then they meet with another person who's an immigration expert to make sure that those problem areas are handled well. So every person who comes in meets with at least 3 attorneys.
Okay. So for those extremely complex case, you cannot do it on site. You will refer them to other.
Well, all those
service.
Attorneys are here, so they're going to 3 different stations before they're done.
Yeah.
Some people who have criminal histories are having to meet with outside attorneys on a different day. But I think most people are getting their applications done today.
That's wonderful. So you are a lawyer, but you spend time on the volunteer work.
Yes.
So
I actually don't do immigration law for my main legal job. I do estate planning, so this is just volunteer.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Sure.
你好， 很高兴在这个西雅图公民研习会上见到您，然后您在这边做翻译是吗？
是。
您能不能跟我们介绍一下自己？
我姓蔡，我来自台湾。
然后为什么会想到来做这个义工？
因为我觉得我在2年以前自己成为美国公民，我觉得为了要回馈社会，然后帮助其他需要帮助的人，所以我和我的先生今天也在这里一起来帮忙。
那你的今天来了之后忙吗？
早上帮助了一位先生，这位先生就花了将近2个钟头的时间。对。
那你是帮他翻译表格还是？
是的，我们这边有一位律师呢，是说这些问题用英文说，那我的话就是帮助他们每一句话把它翻译成中文。对，然后如果有任何疑问的话，我也可以帮这个律师来询问这位先生。
是的，那这样的义工的工作以后你还会做下去吗？
我觉得会的，因为我在这边西雅图住了11年，这是我第一次听到有这样的机会，我很后悔没有早一点听到这样子的可以帮助别人的机会。我相信我每年都会做，我还要请我的朋友们也一起来。
是，太好了，谢谢你。
谢谢。
This morning there has been almost 800 volunteers, including myself, and a lot of them that you see behind me, and we are here in solidarity. I invite you to come and join us in our solidarity and to serve and protect our immigrant and refugee brothers and sisters. Thank you.
A citizen because of their family income. There are other barriers as well. And so we are trying to do everything that we can to provide language services and help people understand the benefits to naturalization, including economic benefits. And people who are naturalized earn approximately 11% more over their lifetime than those who don't. And so there's a number of things that we can do, and we're just thrilled that we could, in the city of Seattle, lead the way and show other cities what's possible. To help them understand what being a welcoming state looks like on a day-to-day basis. Here in the city of Seattle, we also have similar policies, some of which we're discussing right now, but one of those is that we do not collect information and we do not share information because we don't have any information to share. I'm happy to talk with you a little bit more in terms of what that looks like for the event today. It is illegal for businesses to, and as you know that Attorney General Bob Ferguson is pursuing a case against Motel 6 because what they did was a violation of consumer protection. And so there are laws in place for that, but in terms of what people can do on a day-to-day basis, I think it's just be very careful and be aware of the laws and how they can use the city, the state, and legal advisors for assistance. Is there anyone else?
Again, thank you for that question. I think one of the things that I would recommend to our community, well, first and foremost, would be that if they were a victim of information sharing, to bring it up to our leadership, to making sure that they know what legal resources are going to be allocated for them to their protection, because this state and this legislators have committed to protecting immigrant communities. Beyond that, I think as a city of Seattle, they have invested resources to making sure that they have the legal information, legal resources. So I would say to not allow that mistrust in the community, to stop communication with the community. Currently, the Attorney General has already conducted a lawsuit for Motel 6. And it's conducting research. You know, we were the ones who responded for the 7-11 situations where in Bremerton people were picked up. But I think for us, not mistrust cannot mean no communication whatsoever. So what I encourage our communities to stand up, rise up, and share their stories, especially if they are victims of situations like this, so that we as a community can hold our elected officials accountable in making sure that process is being done in a rightful way and in a safe way for our communities.
The DOL incident showed us that even if we have laws in the books, if people, especially government, do not understand what the procedures are, you can end up in a situation where information is inadvertently shared. So as part of Mayor Durkin's upcoming actions, we will also be clarifying to all city officials what you can and cannot share, and reiterating what Cruz said earlier. We cannot share information that we don't collect, and that is basically what Mayor Durkin sent to the Trump administration when we received our letter in December. And it is our continued effort to both educate our government officials, so we are following the law and we are communicating with each other, but also to residents of Seattle, know that you should not be afraid of government in Seattle. We are here to protect you, and we are working as hard as we can to make sure to continue to deliver that message, but also to enforce laws that are already on the books and policies that are already in place.
I'll just add to that. Again, Teresa Mosqueda, Seattle City Council. So I think that it is critical to make sure that folks know that we have a commitment, as you just heard from the mayor, from the City Council as well, from Councilmember Lorena Gonzalez, who's the chair of the New Americans Committee, and I serve as her vice chair. This is a critical issue for us. One thing that I had been encouraging our state to do was to take a Social Security number ask off of every single document, so that if a Social Security number is not required for a federal program, we are no longer asking for it. We don't need that number as a tracking document. And the same can be applied to the City of Seattle. As you just heard from the Deputy Mayor, when we don't have the data, we can't turn anything over. There's other ways to track documentation and applications. And secondly, I would just also say that as a city, we can also commit to making sure that employers know their rights just as much as employees. I spend a lot of time talking about workers knowing their rights. The reality is also employers have rights. They don't have to let ICE in the back where it's a non-public area. And getting that message out in partnership with the government to employers, like the good ones that we see, is a good way to make sure that people know that there's no reason to partner or hand over material unnecessarily.
We are in the National Family Lecture Hall. Thank you. That concludes our press conference.